you've been hanging out with our Quest 3 channel, you know that my current facial interface I'm using, it is a custom 3D printed one. It's not cheap, it's 90 bucks, and I did have a few suggestions when we reviewed it of what they could do to make it better, maybe justify the price a bit more. All that might actually be in this box. All right, what have we got? We have got a, wow. This is some fancy paper it's on. Feels like some sort of texture-y cardstock. JayBratt, blah, 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 blah. We'll look at that a little bit more once we've felt the thing and checked it out. We've got two. I imagine one of them is for a Quest 2 again, and then one is for the Quest 3. Ooh. Oh, they decided to go a little JayBratt mode here. Made it kind of a purpley color. And then we got the second one that is all black. Are they both Quest 3 ones? Huh, okay. Well, that's what I'm playing on, so that makes the most sense. I said initially, obviously, people like color choices, so that's good, but black made the most sense with how the Quest 3 looks. So we've got similar padding on this one, this white padding right here, except it's no longer sticky. I don't know what they did or what this is made of that it's like that, because this one, it was a little sticky, and I mentioned it's gonna collect some hairs, so like you wanted to wipe it pretty frequently, especially if you're a cat owner like me. Because there'd be hairs on it, you'd stick it on your face and that was kind of icky. But this one, I really like the feeling of the padding. It's a little more velvety and it just doesn't feel like it's gonna pick stuff up as easily. Because of that now, you do have the trade-off. It's not so sticky that I can't just stick it to my face, like it'll fall down. But then this one has another type of padding that feels a lot more like this one. Like that one is just sticky enough. There's a different design in the nose here. We're gonna have to do some research and check with them and see what exactly the differences are here. Whew, it's a tight fit. Really gets in there. Really leaves room for the nose on this one. So now they added vents in the top and bottom to help with fogging and ventilation, because we brought up how with this perfect of a seal on your face, it was a little more prone to fogging. And you know what? The location of the vents, if I have the head strapped down in just the right spot, I can feel the littlest channel of air from the S3 Pro actually pushing through the vents into where my eyes are, making me a little more comfortable. That's really nice. I might have just fallen in love all over again. Let me see if I can see what the differences are between this and the other one. It's such a good and tight fit that I almost don't want to take it off again, because I'm like, it's just so perfect. Still, one of the most major cons was the price. Obviously, investing another $90 into your headset is not a low price, but they guarantee the fit, they guarantee replacement on them, and it's based off a 3D scan of your face. The other con, I guess, okay, two other cons. I believe for now it's still only US, although they do want to take it worldwide, but I will double check on that. And then you have to have at least a friend that has an iPhone that you can do the scan with. I've been testing so many facial interfaces lately, and once you go to one that's fit just for your face, it's really hard to go back to any of the others. Like there's other ones that are cheaper and they have their benefits, but once it fits your face, it's like, it's just so comfortable. Oh man, and I feel like it just looks so much better with the matching color. Not having the gray on there, it just looks more premium, even though it's 3D printed, you know, you can hear some of that 3D printed and feel it and see it. I do need to ask what the difference is here in the nose. Is this just to try and protect against the lights, or is it just so that people don't have the risk of a nose issue? Like if they've got a bit more nose than I do, this one gives them plenty of space for it. Well, I've been using this for months, so I could talk you through what this feels like and what it does, but I need to go spend some time with these two and then get back at you with some thoughts of how we're feeling, double check on things like price and stuff, and then I'll read this over too and see if there's anything new I don't know about this that I haven't discovered just from playing with it. So I'll be back shortly. All right, we are back in the studio after a while of checking these out. I did learn a lot about what's different and why, so let's talk about that real quick before we get into the cons and pros. This one that I thought they had changed the padding on, they actually just put a light layer of talc powder on for me, since they know I don't like it as grippy. That's something I obviously could do over and over again and keep it up that way. I won't. That's just, let's be real, I'm not gonna take that extra time all the time to do that, especially when you get sweaty and it's gonna last like one round. I do wish this was a permanent feel they could make somehow, so if that's something they figure out in the future, great, but that's the difference there. Another couple differences they found, in the new design, they found a way to reduce the weight quite a bit. So original here, 90 grams. The one with less nose geometry, 75, 76 grams, a significant loss. And then their default one here, $80. Still a decent weight savings, nothing huge. Color options, they're gonna have tons of them out there. This one was a custom one made for ours based off the colors in our logo. Really cool, they did that, I like that. But now default, if you just order one default from them, it will be black with gray padding, definitely matching the theme a lot better overall here with the Quest 3. I like the color change, especially because it just stood out too much. The venting we talked about, and I found in testing sweaty games and stuff, big benefits from the venting. Even little vents help, but especially you paired up with some kind of a fan, or if you're just blowing a fan on you in general, a lot more airflow is gonna get through, less fogging, less of an issue there. They said that they improved the snaps, and I've got to agree. The thing snaps in tight and hard. It just doesn't feel like it's gonna get loose on you, which is also an improvement. And then they do say the new default padding is softer. I feel like it's probably a little softer. What I noticed more is you just don't feel, like in this one, if you squish this, you feel kind of the honeycomb backing in there, you notice that. Or this one now, it feels more like a uniform pad. It feels better, but you are still gonna get the same, you know, hairs are ultimately gonna stick to it. The trade-off of it being stickier and staying on your face though, I do ultimately appreciate. Mostly I use the Halo strap, but of course we had to check it out with some Elite ones too. And ultimately, you're actually gonna get the most benefit of a facial interface like this with an Elite strap, because now that it's perfectly molded to your face, if the headset is relying only on this part holding onto your face, it's gonna just feel so much better. The pressure is so even when you push on this. I mean, you can like, that doesn't feel awful. You do that with a normal facial interface and you're probably gonna bruise your freaking face because they only hit a lot of times in 4 little spots instead of perfectly fitting your face. Less cons than the original design for sure. They did the venting, the lighter weight, the better fit, all help. The major con still is the price. $90 is a good deal, I think, for what you're getting, but that's still not a low price when you're thinking about investing that much in, especially now that the Quest 2 is now permanently reduced to $199. You think about someone who just spent $200 and then they think about spending $90, it seems like a worse value proposition with the Quest 2 than with the Quest 3, where if you spent $500. Quick news that came here actually as we were finishing the review, for the first time ever, Oblik is offering an affiliate code. JayBratt will save you $10 off this, bringing it from that high price point of $90 to a still high price point, but lower at least, of $80. So if you do want one, use that code to save you some money. One other choice that they made, it's kind of an interesting choice. So they found that this design was originally to help create some light blocking based on how your face is shaped and how this came in around your nose. This was supposed to pretty much block 90% of the light, I would say. That's not their figure, that's mine from testing. They did make this as an option, and then it is based on your face scan and how much space they see and how much they can tell from the scan the light is going to come through or not. But if this is an option, this becomes a lighter weight one with less in the way of your nose. Potentially a little more light getting through though, but they are looking at your scan to determine whether this is eligible for you. Because then with this one, you get a bit more of the ability to pass the headset around. It's got more space, accommodate more noses. And ultimately, you can get a little bit better of a field of view with this one, a little bit closer. So they said specifically for mine, it was 1.5 millimeters. So we got a little bit closer. I thought I was getting the maximum field of view possible out of the Quest 3. With this, it's just no question. You're like so close to the lenses. It's almost like rocking no facial interface and just shoving the lenses up to your eyes. So another consideration for MetaQuest charging dock users, I've been talking to Oblik and they said that they made sure that they're grinding these down to where they should be working with the charging dock. But the one for me that has the lower nose part, not the upper nose guard, I have tried so many times, and sometimes I can even get it to stay charging for a second, but then when I let go, it stops again. So something about it could be causing that. If you are someone who uses the Meta charging dock, you may want to specify that you really only want this one with the nose piece above, because it does seem like even that little tiny bit of plastic they have here, even though it feels perfectly flush when you touch it from both sides, it's just enough that it's not letting it work. See, sometimes it stays for a bit. So charging dock owners, I would let them know you have the MetaQuest charging dock and you want the other kind to make sure that it continues to work with that. So now with all the improvements and stuff, I mean, the only cons really are the price, and then if you don't love how 3D printing feels or looks, I mean, I think they're doing a pretty good job with this. It doesn't come with the hairs hanging off it like a lot of 3D printing does. They're obviously using a quality printer and they know what they're doing, but pros, you're gonna be more comfortable than you've ever been. It's gonna be completely designed for you. It's gonna feel great. I suppose we could say it's a con if it's designed perfectly for you and your partner, whoever you're with, also uses the headset. It might, if your faces are too dissimilar, maybe it feels really awful for them because it's meant for your face. I have found though, because I use the Halo strap, anyone can use this and they don't really notice that, because it's not like if it were an Elite strap or forbid the stock strap, that thing would be sucking into their face with something that's shaped like my face. and that could be more of an issue for them. So for now, this is definitely my new permanent facial interface. I love it. I have an extra one. I'm gonna throw it on my other Quest 3 now too, so it's gonna be these two running. I do know other companies are working on them, so for now I will say this is probably the premium top most expensive choice. There may be more choices that we review for the more budget-friendly options, and if we find those, we will let you know those as well. But for me, once you have this, like, why would you want to do anything else? It fits your face perfectly. It's like having a shoe fitted to just your foot. Like, how could you go back to another shoe afterwards? But that's my thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts out there. I know some of you got the Oblik after the last video. I'd love to hear how it's holding up for you, what you're thinking about it. I know their customer service, from all the reports I've heard on Discord stuff, they are quick. They'll replace it if you have any issues at all. So I don't feel worried at all. Unfortunately, you just have to go through their website. I'll leave a link to their website, but it's not like you can get these on Amazon or anything else yet. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you once again for being here with me. I'll see you in another reality.